Jacko sponsors the National League on BT Sport.
Hello everybody, welcome along to our latest roundup from the Vanarama National League. All the key incidents from this weekend's games. Here's a little flavour of what's coming up. Halifax on the rise after stunning high flyers Dover. Cheltenham still on top after 10 games unbeaten. And 3 see red as the Beast bags a double. We start at Halifax, bottom of the league at the beginning of play and searching for their third different manager since the start of the season. After last week's surprise win at Gateshead, they were looking to collect back-to-back victories for the first time since February. And on a day when the former Halifax striker Jamie Vardy created Premier League history, it took only 7 minutes for his former side to open the scoring. Kevin Roberts with a cross and Sean Tooten pouncing after a poor clearance. It didn't take long for the hosts to double their advantage. Jordan Burrow releasing Notts County loanee Nicky Rowe, who on his second attempt scored his first for the club. It was a great start, but Halifax had failed to keep a clean sheet in their 29 previous matches, and that run continued when Ricky Miller pulled one back for Dover. Tooten almost bagged his second of the day for Halifax, but was denied by the bar. Dover then cried penalty when Matt Brown brought down Miller, but referee Robert Jones was having none of it. Halifax made the most of their good fortune. Tooten's tenacity down the right allowed Jordan Burrow to restore his side's 2-goal cushion before the break. That's his 13th of the season. After the restart, Halifax again allowed Dover back into the game. This time, the visitors' top scorer Stephen Payne providing the lifeline, his 10th of the campaign. But the victory was confirmed for the home side when Tooten did grab his second of the day, his 6th in the last 3 games. They move off the foot of the table as caretaker boss Jim Harvey continues his impressive audition for the role on a permanent basis.
In the position that we are in, with the confidence rock low, bottom of the league, conceding 5 and 6 and 7 goals, you know, it's a hard place to come from. So you've got to give all the credit to the players for going out there and absorbing all of that, you know, horrible atmosphere, the losing mentality, and then turning it round into a real positive. Albeit it's only 2 games so far, but that's a start, and that's terrific. Really, it's really encouraging.
League leaders Cheltenham travelled to face an Aldershot side who were without a win in 5. The form book certainly favoured the visitors, unbeaten in 9. But it was the home side who started brighter. Tom Richards was found unmarked at the back post, but the defender's shot was blocked to the dismay of manager Barry Smith. Despite early pressure from Aldershot, it was Cheltenham who opened the scoring from a Harry Pell free kick, the ball deflecting off the wall and past keeper Phil Smith. Aldershot's Charlie Walker came close, the striker's shot going just wide of the post. Cheltenham doubled their lead before the half-hour mark from another free kick. This time Jack Munn's reaping the rewards for some lackadaisical defending. Phil Smith unsighted and Aldershot staring at a 4th straight defeat. Munn's again tried his luck a second time, but Smith was alert to the threat. Smith again had to be on guard, this time denying Ryan Jennings' effort. Debutant striker Andrea Novakovic, on loan from Reading, reacted quickest to a Cheltenham corner, but Smith once again was equal to it. Dylan Phillips then had a moment of madness, coming off his line and missing the ball. That left Daniel Carr with a chance, but his shot hit the bar. Omar Beckles then threatened from range, but Aldershot's goal drought continues. Cheltenham unbeaten in 10, and manager Gary Johnson is hungry for more wins.
If you want to stay ahead of the game and you want to stay top of the league and you want other teams to drop points, then you've got to win as many games as you can now before you get into the last 5-10 games of the season, because you don't want to be putting yourself under pressure and having to win 8 of your last 10 or something. So the boys are giving it a right go and they're coping well at the moment.
So, with Cheltenham picking up 3 points at Aldershot, could Forest Green Rovers keep up the pressure on the league leaders? They welcomed Altrincham, who went into this one off the back of 2 straight victories. Forest Green hadn't kept a clean sheet in 6 games, but gave themselves a superb start after just 43 seconds. John Parkin powering his way into the box and firing past Tim Deasy. Altrincham almost levelled when striker James Lorry's shot deflected past keeper Steve Arnold, but the ball came off the post. And then after 19 minutes, Parkin rose highest from a Keanu Marsh-Brown corner to head the hosts further ahead, a brace for the beast, 8 for the season. With Rovers cruising, Charlie Clough was twice unlucky not to get his name on the score sheet. First he hit the angle of the bar and post, and then his cheeky dink beat Altrincham's defence and Deasy, but the former Bristol Rovers defender saw his attempt clip the bar. It wasn't all rosy for the home side. Dale Bennett reacted angrily after being caught by a late Simon Richmond challenge. Referee Steve Rushton was unhappy with the retaliation, and Forest Green were reduced to 10 men. But despite their numerical advantage, the visitors were almost 3 goals adrift after the restart. Curtis Guthrie rounding the goalkeeper, but Jordan Sinnott clearing off the line. Guthrie was then on the receiving end of a late lunge by Josh O'Keefe, forcing Rushton to reach into his pocket again. A straight red card for the midfielder, Altringham's first of the season. And 10 men soon became 9 for Altrincham. Elliot Freer held back by Gianluca Haven, a second yellow for him that ended any hope of a comeback. Frustration for visiting boss Lee Sinnott, who had a stern talk with his players at full time, but delight for Adi Pennock's men as they keep up the pace with leaders Cheltenham.
The way we started the game was phenomenal, and we just carried on. We're in a rich vein of form at the moment, and 2 great goals from John, and just maybe a little bit picky. Maybe we could have scored some more if we was a little bit ruthless in front of goal. But overall, I'm very proud of the lads. They've been absolutely fantastic.
In-form Wrexham were dealt the task of stopping Macclesfield's Christian Dennis, who had already scored 15 goals since signing on loan from National League North side Stockport County in June. Whatever plans Wrexham had made came to nothing as Dennis broke the deadlock after 22 minutes. A touch inside from Chris Holroyd was all he needed to find the back of the net and go level with the league's current top scorer, Moses Emmanuel of Bromley. But having won their last 3 games, Wrexham weren't going down without a fight. 10 minutes later, this excellent effort from Blaine Hudson was blocked, but Connor Jennings netted the rebound to score his 9th of the season against his former club. 1-1. 3 minutes before half-time, Danny Whittaker took advantage when Manny Smith's pass got stuck in the mud and released Dennis, who was onside and had all the time in the world to knock the ball past Reece Taylor to make it 2-1, his 17th goal of the season. 25 minutes into the second half and Macclesfield struck again. A great delivery from Paul Lewis found the feet of Whittaker, who converted the chance to bag his 5th of the campaign and give the visitors a 2-goal advantage. A glimmer of hope came for Wrexham 6 minutes later as this corner produced a loose ball which fell for James Gray, who rocketed it into the top right-hand corner. But it wasn't enough to deny Macclesfield the points. A great result for them and an excellent achievement for Christian Dennis.
I'm on loan from Stockport, but I know the gaffer here really well because he was a manager in the youth team. So luckily, Stockport didn't want me in the summer, so he took a chance on me and I'm repaying it.
In-form Grimsby were host to bottom 4 Kidderminster, who came to Blundell Park having won 2 of their previous 3 games. So confidence was high for the visitors, even if their points tally wasn't. Grimsby's Craig Disley found himself in an excellent position to score, but couldn't get enough on it to make an impact. Another great chance for Grimsby arose when this cross from Connor Townsend found the head of Nathan Arnold, but he knocked it just wide of the post. And in the second half, a deflection off Josh Gowling nearly gave Grimsby the lead, much to the relief of Kidderminster keeper Dean Schnedker. But in the 66th minute, the deadlock was finally broken as this cross from Townsend met the head of Padraig Amand who netted his 14th of the campaign. A goal that made Grimsby joint top scorers in the division along with Cheltenham. Kidderminster, however, did have an excellent chance to level the scores when this header from Gurjit Singh provided Ben Whitfield with a golden opportunity, only for it to come back off the post into the hands of James McEwen. Defeat for Kidderminster sends them to the bottom of the table once again. Grimsby move up to third after their 4th win on the bounce.
Gateshead-born Neil Aspin took over the reins at his local club after Malcolm Crosby's sacking last week. The former Halifax boss sat in the stands for this game against Chester, hoping his side could end a run of 5 home matches without a win. Chester, playing in yellow, hadn't won in 3 and were fortunate not to be 1-0 down when what seemed to be a great team goal, finished beautifully by Adam Wrightson, was deemed offside. Did the linesman get it right? It's too close to call. It was Gateshead's turn to have luck on their side when Chester's Tom Shaw received a great pass from John Rooney, but his eventual shot was superbly cleared off the line by Simon Ramsden, and on the rebound Shaw then hit the post. In the second half, Jordan Cranston fired in a thunderous deflected drive, but Chester keeper John Warsnip did well to foil the effort. The winner eventually came, and it went to Gateshead. George Honeyman showed great skill down the right to provide a chance for new signing CJ Hamilton, and his shot was deflected into the net by Chester's Alex Whitmore. A first home win since September for Neil Aspin's new side, who move into 11th. No wins in 4 games now for Chester. They fall to 15th.
Eastleigh were looking for a return to the playoff places as they took on strugglers Southport, playing their second game under new boss Dino Marmria at the Silver Lake Stadium. Commentary from Adam Virgo and Adam Summerton.
Flicked on by Midson to Constable, and support arriving here as well with Reason, and now Constable, a chance here, and it's taken at the second attempt. Well, the flag is up, it won't count. Drury it was who'd turned it home after Constable had hit the woodwork initially. Here comes the corner, it's a great delivery and it's been cleared off the line. Really awkward that for Southport, and they are threatening now, Eastleigh. Great defending by Rutherford.
Well, they've been poor, haven't they? Haven't not marked their men on any of the set plays so far.
Nice flick by Reason. Football this from Eastleigh, enjoyed by the crowd. Green. Bringing out the skills. Payne. And now Partington forward from right back. Has Blakeman for attention. The dummy by Reason. Now Reason again! That was close.
It's a great save in the end from Max Crocombe, but it's wonderful play.
Southport defenders in a line almost as Reason sent it in. It was flicked on by Partington, and it breaks kindly here. And it took a deflection on the way through. The effort from Strevens.
Trying to stop the shot in from Strevens. Allowed a touch and have a shot. Just done enough. I think as Bishop in the end had just got that final touch.
There's 2 men down inside the area here. All sorts of appeals going on. It's the third. Oh, there was 4 down in the end. Real tussle involving Midson.
Well, he ended up just getting in the way on Challoner.
Strevens, he's in behind! Another good save by Crocombe. He's keeping Southport in this at the minute. Some really important stops in either half from the New Zealander. Ryan. And now Almond. And Jones in the middle. And it's took a deflection. A nervous moment that for Eastleigh. It was Liam Nolan with the shot. Partington. It's a really good turn by Josh Payne. He'll get his shot in too, and turned in. Drury with the finish. It's finally come, the breakthrough for Eastleigh. Goodness me, they've had to wait. But just over 6 minutes from time, the Spitfires take the lead. An urgency now about Eastleigh, and they want to get the job done. Constable. Oh, and it's been saved by Crocombe. Strevens, the man who'd made the burst from midfield into the area.
Barthington, great awareness. Joyce has to go towards the ball. And in the end, it's a great save from Max Crocombe.
You have to have those main, through the spine players that can pull you out and help everybody else along the way, you know, and I've got that. Yeah. And there's a good group in there. There's a very good group in there, and we have to keep building and keep working hard, and hopefully we can be successful come the end of the season.
The managerial merry-go-round in the National League this season saw another new boss make his bow at Holker Street. Paul Cox, who resigned from Torquay in September, was the choice of the Barrow board to succeed Darren Edmondson. The home side have problems, but one thing Cox has inherited is a goal scorer. Just 4 minutes into the meeting with Woking, Andy Cook was on the end of David Symington's cross to head home his 13th of the campaign. A great start for Cox, and it could have been a dream. Midfielder David Mellor trying his luck from long range. The crossbar left shaking. Barrow's players would have been hoping to make a positive impression on their new manager, but it was a moment to forget for goalkeeper Joel Dixon after the interval, as he let Joey Jones's header slip through his fingers. 1-1. Moments later, the hosts almost gifted Woking the lead. Dixon throwing the ball out to Simon Grand, who was robbed by Bruno Andrade, Barrow's keeper redeeming himself with the save. Despite the dismissal of Edmondson, Barrow had been 4-0 victors in his last home fixture in charge against Torquay, and they were on the hunt for a winner. Liam Hearn, signed on loan from Lincoln this week, was denied by Jake Cole. But it was Barrow's day. Otis Khan's free kick headed in by defender Steve Williams. What a time for Williams to score his first of the season. A goal that lifted his side well clear of the relegation zone, all of which makes Cox very content.
Sometimes a group of players just need refocusing and given different instructions. And I don't think the game's complicated. I like to work with personalities and people, not footballers. And we've got some personalities in our dressing room that I think could progress and become better players.
The very least Chris Moyes will expect from his Lincoln side this season is to make the playoffs, the position they found themselves in prior to kick-off against Welling at Sincil Bank. Having lost just 2 of the last 12, confidence was high amongst the hosts. Welling keeper Tom King was on his toes to keep out Jack Muldoon using his body. Then came a far more routine save from Matt Sparrow's shot. The visitors had lost 3 of their last 5, but you'll struggle to see a more smoothly executed counter-attack than this. Rhys Harris to George Porter, Porter back to Harris, 1-0 Welling right on the stroke of half-time. Lincoln came alive after the break. First substitute Terry Hawkridge fired that free kick, inches wide, and into the last 20 minutes they were level. Hawkridge again inside to Muldoon, a powerful strike. Well, there's no doubt King should have done better. Not that it matters to Muldoon, that's his 4th goal since joining from Rochdale in the summer. The home side were on the front foot. Lee Beavers with a cross finding top scorer Matt Reid. King making amends with a save right out of the top drawer. Louis Fazakerly's men were still a threat on the break. Harris's cross picking out Sam Corn. Paul Farman with a crucial stop of his own. Still time for one more glimpse of goal. Reid knocking the ball down. Sparrow could have won it for Lincoln, but he blasted over the bar. A good point for Welling, but Moyes left ruining missed opportunities.
I think we shot ourselves in the foot in the first half, conceding a goal just right before the half-time interval was for a bit of like a nous, really. And then second half, I thought we were camped in there half, to be fair. Made numerous chances, unfortunately not clinical enough on the day.
Both Guiseley and Bromley were on a run of 3 consecutive defeats. Perhaps a good time for both sides to be playing each other in what was the first ever meeting between the two. Bromley's recent form has severely damaged their playoff hopes, and Mark Goldberg's side certainly looked vulnerable early on. Guiseley's Anthony Dudley, on loan from Bury, flashing a shot just wide. The hosts were agonisingly close to breaking the deadlock before the interval, and in some style, Oliver Norburn's strike cannoned against the crossbar. But as it turns out, that was just a warm-up for one of the goals of the season. Norburn had never scored for Guiseley and hadn't found the back of any net for 2 years. Norburn and the crowd at Nethermoor Park will never forget that one. Signs of life from Bromley after the break. A fancy flick from Moses Emmanuel, putting Pierre-Joseph Dubois clean through, but he could only dink the ball wide. A gilt-edged chance for Guiseley soon after. Chris Kettings on loan from Crystal Palace with a sensational double save to keep Bromley's deficit at 1. It could have proved crucial as Bromley were inches away from an equaliser. Rhys Prestige heading against the woodwork. The hosts finally put Bromley to bed in the last minute. Adam Boyes was denied by Kettings, but Dudley was on hand to register his 4th goal in a Guiseley shirt. No side in the National League is on a worse run than Bromley. That's 5 defeats in the last 7.
Points have been hard to come by for Torquay in white. Wins have been especially hard to come by. Just 1 in their last 18 as they travelled to Cressing Park to battle Braintree. By contrast, Danny Cowley's team had suffered just 1 defeat in their last 8. And it was no surprise to see them dictate play. Alex Woodyard firing wide. The visitors had conceded 7 in their last 2 matches, but this was a far more spirited showing. It was a dogged display from Torquay on a difficult pitch. Player-manager Kevin Nicholson and his team put their bodies on the line to secure the goalless draw and take what could be a precious point back to the seaside. Just the 3rd clean sheet of the season for Torquay. Braintree have kept 10 of them, the highest in the division.
It's been a frustrating time for both teams. Boreham Wood, who were only 3 points above the drop zone, had won just 1 of the last 7. Tranmere had only managed 2 wins in their last 8. Tranmere had an excellent chance to open the score when Lois Maynard attempted an ambitious backheel towards goal, only for it to be pushed out by the fingertips of keeper James Russell. In the second half, an Anthony Jeffries cross found Charlie McDonald, who headed it into the net, only for the officials to rule the ball had gone out of play. James Norwood was then provided a brilliant chance to score, but couldn't control the ball in time and hit it well wide. After recent disappointments, both managers went away satisfied with a point apiece from a goalless draw.
So it's still a Gloucestershire 1-2 at the top of the National League as we hit the season's halfway mark. Cheltenham, unbeaten in 10, maintain their 1-point advantage over Forest Green Rovers. 3rd and 4th places belong to Lincolnshire, with Grimsby another in-form side with just 1 defeat in 16 games. Eastleigh's late winner against Southport lifts them back into the playoff places, and Macclesfield leapfrog Wrexham after that win at the racecourse. Halifax's unexpected victory over Dover lifts them off the bottom, but there's still an awful lot to do if they're going to have any hope of avoiding the drop. Kidderminster slip back into last place after their defeat at Grimsby, and Southport could climb out of the bottom 4 if they can make the most of their games in hand. That's just about it for this week's National League highlight show, but don't forget to join us on Friday, December the 18th as we bring you Braintree Town against Wrexham exclusively live on BT Sport 1 from 7:15. That's it for this week. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.
Jacko sponsors the National League on BT Sport.